coming to you from the dark recesses of the proverbial Dawnforge pouch. This is episode 255 of the Shattered Soulstone. Brandy goes from a skill to a class. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get your free audiobook download, bit.ly/SoulstoneBooks2020. Over 180,000 titles to choose from. If your iPod that nobody ever uses anymore, tablet, and your phone, obviously. Whatever phone you guys use, either the good ones or the Google ones. Today is March 31st, 2020. And I am Shazam. Nobody's with me this week. Last week, obviously, with Dread Scythe was a late add-on, which is pretty nice. Yeah, it's just me this week. So, I'm going to get started. My week in gaming, Greed can attest to this. I was basically silent in Discord all week, and I bought a game on last Sunday that I hinted about, about buying, which was Animal Crossing for the Switch. I don't know how many of you people play it. I don't know. If you guys do, hit me up on Discord. I'll give you my information and we could play together. But then I seen people on Twitch and stuff. People were making these custom designs and stuff for, so you can put on the ground, make it on a t-shirt, make it on a hat in the game. Basically do whatever you want with these designs. So I Google searched it and figured out how people were doing it, and I decided to add Blizzard into Animal Crossing, because that website that had a lot of these images, I typed in Diablo, no results, and so I just started making them just by the images I had on my computer. And the Horde one I just searched for. A black and red one did not come out really well. Like, it looked like crap. So I decided to go with a white and black one. And that shows up pretty good. But, yeah, so far I got Diablo 3 and Diablo 4's, whatever you want to call it, emblems or whatever. I got the Horde one, and I made a Riker one. And they came out pretty good. So I put them on Riker's Discord, and then I put them on Twitter. And it seemed like Twitter, a lot of people seem to enjoy it, because it started getting a bunch of retweets and a bunch of people that liked it. So yeah, there's a lot of people that apparently wanted Blizzard designs in Animal Crossing. But I didn't know. I guess this is the first Animal Crossing game I ever played. Never played any of the other ones. I had a GameCube for a little while, but I mostly played Phantasy Star and Legends of Zelda, The Wind Waker. I basically just played them games. I don't remember playing much of anything else on there. I did buy. That was like the only console, um, the GameCube, that I went to Walmart at 11 o'clock at night before, like the right before the release, and waited in line till midnight for them to sell me a console. That was the only console I ever did that for. There wasn't very many people in line, but back then, Nintendo, out of all companies, didn't have very many games out whenever they launched this system. I think I bought I think Wave Race or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the name was, but it was basically a ride on a jet ski, and that's about it. You know, you know, basically in races, but that was the only game on launch that even appealed to me to buy. I don't think there was a Mario game out. I don't think there was anything like that, which was kind of odd, but yeah. Um, so I didn't play Animal Crossing because I had that console for a while, but in 2004, I think, yeah, it had to have been 2004. I sold it, and I had to buy an Xbox because I was moving to college and I needed a DVD player too. So I figured if I just bought an Xbox, I'd have both. And I'm pretty sure that's how it went. Maybe, I can't remember. But yeah, I sold the GameCube, bought an Xbox, went to college in 2004. Obviously, the rest is history. Um, but yeah, I've never owned a Wii, never owned any of the consoles after that for Nintendo. Bought a Wii U for my niece and nephew for Christmas one year, like the year it came out, but I didn't buy any of them consoles. I know my parents had a Wii because my mom played it, but that's all I that's all, basically that's why I haven't played Animal Crossing or anything like that. Never had any of the handhelds past the Game Boy Advance. So this game came out. I seen what it was about, and I was like, I'll give it a try since everybody's like I seen Brandy on Twitter and I seen Thist on Twitter and stuff posting pictures, and it seemed like they were playing it an awful lot. So I decided to give it a try, and like I would get off of work, I would play the game, and before I knew it, I had to go to bed. I would do that every day. And then Friday came, and then I played it, till I had to go to bed. I woke up on Saturday, like 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. I started playing it, and before I knew it, this is, I don't know. It's to me, it's just so weird. You start playing a game at 7:30 in the morning, and before you realize it, it's like 10 or 11 o'clock at night already, and the day just goes. You're like, where did this day just go? And Sunday I woke up, same thing, day disappeared, and I'm like, this is like absurd. Like how much time I'm putting into this game. it's crazy. Like I would get a loan in the game because you get a loan and you get a house and you get a loan and you make your house bigger, room by room by room. And I would get a loan and I would pay it off by the time I went to bed or the next morning. I would get another loan and pay it off by the next morning. And it's just like all this grinding for like just grinding to get stuff to sell it. It's like it's crazy. And like I just sat there and played it so freaking much. And then I woke up this morning and I started playing it. Same deal, 7:30 rolls around, I wake up, I start playing it, and about noon, I'm like, I really need to, like, I really want to play something else. Like, I really want to get back into Diablo. I want to play Diablo a little while, split my days up, you know what I mean? Like, there should be no reason why I'm playing one game for 16 hours a day. And, yeah, so yeah, I started playing Diablo at about noon today, and I think I did 50 or so greater rifts. Last week, um, like I said last week that Dread Scythe kind of talked me out of doing a Hydra Wizard. So I think the next day, think I think it was the next day. Like I started leveling up a Witch Doctor, and I got to like level 60, and didn't feel like leveling it up anymore. And Dread Scythe whispered me and says, "You need help leveling." And so he basically power leveled me the rest of the way. And then me and Greed started playing for a little while. He got me a couple pieces of gear. I think I had 3 pieces of Mundanugus on from just drops on my Demon Hunter. And I had 5 pieces as of this morning. I had Sacred Harvester. I had I ground, I did greater rifts on my Demon Hunter. I got the bracers that I needed. I basically got everything but the ring and the barber. And and the mask of Jerem. I got everything but them 3 items. I tried to do a 70, and I just got face rolled like 5 times, and I basically just logged out of the character, and I went, I do not feel like playing Witch Doctor. So I started gearing out that Hydra Wizard again. And yeah, the Hydra Wizard is completely geared out, minus the Halo of Karini. That's the only thing she needs yet. She does have Dex, Tasker, and Theos. She does have a Dex Squirts necklace. But other than that, she's got just non-ancient everything else. I got lucky and rolled just in Kadala. I rolled Ancient Mantle of Channeling. I think it was Intellect, Vit, cooldown, and Hydra damage. So I can't complain too much about that. But other than that, I just need Swampland Waiters for her. And I'll see. I got I think 5 pieces of that. So, and I have the Captain Crimson's um, from the Witch Doctor. So for the 6-piece set, I'm going to try them out and see what happens. I'm not looking for speed. I'm looking for pushing. Um, if I want speed, I can do on a Demon Hunter better than most people. Like I said, I did 50 some greater rifts today without a problem in a couple hours. So yeah, I got I got the Paragon 4. I logged off of the game and I had to go to the store, well, to the gas station and get iced tea for the next couple days and a couple sodas. I think I was at 1055 Paragon and I ran out of Greater Rift keys. So after I do this show, I'm gonna grind Greater Rift keys and get to at least 1075 or 1100 tonight, and wake up tomorrow and see how much further. I want to see how much further I can go in it. I don't know, half of a week on not having anything better to do. so um, so yeah. Reason that is just like 9 ball. Only the next day, I no longer am employed at this point in time. Sitting at home, anticipating a check to show up, and that's about it at this point. I um, I gave up on my job last week when I worked an entire week. I worked an entire week and I counted the hours that I made that week, and I think I turned 24 hours. So I worked 3 days that week and went to work 2 days and stood around and didn't get paid for it essentially. Um, so yeah, it's more beneficial to me to sit at home and collect more of a paycheck than it is to go to work and stand there with a thumb up your rear end all day and not get paid to do it. So that's what I'm doing. Um, I'm essential work, but when nobody's showing up to give you, to make you a paycheck, you're not very essential whenever you can't afford the bills that you have based on the paycheck that you're receiving because you're not hourly. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Um, yeah. And same day, same day that I laid myself off, the Brandy posted in the forums, and she posted on her Twitter that that was essentially her last day at Blizzard, and she was moving on, and she didn't say in the forums where she was going, but she did so on her Twitter page. Um, if you guys didn't know, she was, she still is. I don't know why I say was. She's really into the Dungeons and Dragons, and I guess she got the opportunity to become a community manager for um, Wizards of the Coast, for D&D. So she took it. Looking back, like whenever they were looking for a community manager, Now I know why they were looking for a community manager. It wasn't to add on a community manager. Probably it was to find her replacement. But I guess they're looking for like 2 people. That's what I'm hearing now. So they might just be, looking for her replacement and somebody else. So I'm gonna cross my fingers that they get somebody as good at that job as she was. She worked at Blizzard before. She I don't know what the reasoning of her leaving before was, but then she came back. I want to say before Reaper of Souls, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously now in 2020 she's leaving again for Wizards of the Coast. So yeah, good luck to her, and you know, it's gonna be truthful. If it wasn't for her, it wasn't for me reaching out to her, I wouldn't have been able to give. We wouldn't have been able to give BlizzCon virtual tickets to you guys to give away. It was the first time, and if ever, that this podcast gave them out. And it was all because I reached out to her and asked her for some. And she was, more than helpful at giving me 2 of them. And, I reached out, and, I didn't talk to her very much. But I never met her in person. She doesn't know me from anybody else. But me being a co-host of this podcast for a little over a year now, I don't know how much Blizzard listens to this podcast. I don't know how much, I don't know any of that stuff. I don't know how much Brandy listens to this podcast either. But yeah, if you don't listen to this podcast 99% of the time, you probably don't know who I am. I found that out when I reached out to Anime Disco. That dude didn't even hear of this podcast. This is the original. This is the first Diablo podcast, which boggles my mind that a dude that is a Diablo streamer has no idea what the first Diablo podcast is, which so that was the first and last time I talked to him. I try and talk to everybody. I try and I talk to Dread. I talk to Wolf Crier. Talk to Leviathan. I talk to a lot of people. I don't talk to Blood very much, if ever. But I talk to a lot of people. I talk to the people that you see on screen right here, Muggle Mama, and Riker. Obviously, I try and talk to people, and get in good graces with people. Because for a long time, this podcast either didn't put out a show consistently, or didn't even talk to anybody outside of this show. I'm not naming any names. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm trying to change that. I'm trying to, I want I want to lift this. I'd love to lift this podcast up way higher than you know than than what I perceived it as before I you know joined the community and stuff like that. and I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna say anything bad about this because, you know, at this point in time, if I say anything bad about it, part of the reason it's like that is because of me at this point. um, yeah. Um, other than that, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. There's no blue notes because Brandy did blue notes, and she doesn't work at Blizzard anymore. Um, you know, with this pandemic that's going on, yeah, don't expect very much good. You know, don't expect very much news because there's not gonna be any. You know, I hear that Diablo Immortal's gonna have a beta or whatever, regional beta, whatever, regional release or something going on this summer. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it at this point. We've waited over a year now since the Chinese people said they were done working on it, so Blizzard's been solely working on it for a year. You know, themselves without the people that made the engine or whatever. But yeah, I'll believe it when I see it at this point. You know, with all the stuff going on. If you're if you're not into in the know of anything, this global pandemic is screwing up stuff so bad that at Final Fantasy VII that is supposed to release on April 10th, I think it is. It's getting shipped to Europe and Australia a week early just to make sure it's there. You know, and Square Enix already said they can't guarantee that you're going to have your copy of that game the day it launches. That's that's how bad it's been. That's how bad shipping and stuff's been getting with this. You know, this crap that we have to be put through at this point. I hope it gets better. I hope it gets better and it never comes back. You know what happens once every other generation, apparently. Hopefully, it doesn't ever come back. In at least our lifetimes. You know, let the people 2 generations from now or whatever worry about it. But seems kind of weird. 100 years ago, they dealt with the same kind of thing, only killed a lot more people. Yeah, I don't know why my eyes are freaking burning and itching so freaking bad. Anyway, yeah. Other than that, Jen's Lore Corner, bookatjen.net. Bunch of lore videos. Oh, not videos. Lore episodes that she does roughly once a month. But yeah, 15 to 20 minutes an episode. Jesus Christ. 15 to 20 minutes an episode. Get lore information about Diablo. Yeah, if you're interested in lore. If you want more lore, Audible's got what? 4 books now. About to have 2 more eventually. Maybe 3 more. I can't remember what I said last episode. I'm not going to bring Audible back up again. Yeah, other than that, that's about it. The only thing I watched this week, I watched Big Fish again. I like that movie. Back in the day, it had a Dodge Charger in it. Of course, I liked it. to watch that again. Watched the movie last night. I don't know how to take it. I wouldn't call it a dumb movie, but I would say, I don't know. It's very odd. The movie's called Horns. It's on Netflix. Like within, I don't know, first 5-10 minutes of the movie, it starts out, a guy and his girlfriend. They're they're supposed to go to an engagement party where he's going to propose to her. Blah blah blah. They get there. They basically break up, and they leave. And before the next morning happens, she's dead. And the weird thing about it is the boyfriend now, he wakes up and he has two devil horns sticking out, just like normal devil horns sticking out of his head. Like every person he talks to, they basically tell him like all their evil thoughts. Like he goes to like the doctor to see what the doctor can do about the horns that are on his head. And like there's this kid like this little girl like in the middle of the waiting area sitting on the ground. She's playing with like a school bus or something, and she's like screaming like this, like the blood curdling like high pitched scream like out of like a kid, you know what I mean? And she keeps doing it. And he walks up to the counter, and he and the receptionist says, I'd like to tell that mother to take her daughter or something." And I can't remember what it says, but it's pretty messed up. And you know then the mother and everything, the mother and the receptionist get into like this big huge fight, through basically plate glass or whatever. And it's very weird. And then he goes into to like the doctor, and the doctor says, keeps saying the horns, but he says when he quits looking at the horns, he doesn't remember that this guy has them. And then he was like, "Well, doctor, just saw him off." And so they put him under anesthesia and everything. And like I said, every time that this guy's around people, their their most messed up thoughts come out. And while this guy's under, thinking he's going to get his horns taken off, like the doctor starts sawing it, and then he quits, and him and the receptionist, basically start making babies, if you know what I mean. And then the guy wakes up, and the saw's literally sticking out of a horn, and he takes it out. And him and the doctor and the nurse are, they're still doing it. And he was like, "I thought you were supposed to take these horns off." He was like, "Yeah, but me and the nurse decided we were just gonna, Like, that's how messed up, like, this movie. Like, I couldn't think of anything more messed up than this freaking movie. I'm not gonna just, I'm not gonna ruin the plot. I'm not gonna ruin anything else, but like this happens like the first, I don't know, half hour of the movie. Like it is messed up. And it's not like the best, like it's not the best movie in the world. Like at the end of the movie, you know, I don't know. Like the special effects could have been a little bit better, I guess. at the end of the movie. And like when a couple people get killed in the movie, like you can definitely tell that that's not a person that's gets killed and stuff like that. It's like one of them, one of them kind of weird movies. I don't know. I sat there and I started watching it 2 nights ago. I fell asleep, but yesterday I stayed up until that movie was over, and yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of weird. It's really weird. It's a good movie for Greed to watch, I guess. we're both in the, we're both in pretty messed up movies. Yeah. Other than that, I'll be at my computer. I don't know, 16 hours a day for the next foreseeable future. It'd be great if it was the entire um, season 20. Be able to grind massive amounts of Paragon at that point, plus play Animal Crossing. Um, yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what you know. We'll see day by day, week by week, what happens. At this point, yeah. Other than that, it's about it for the episode. I got nothing else. Still no word. It's still pretty early. I'm sure. Like I said last week. Pretty sure I said it last week. If I didn't say it on the show, I said it to somebody. I'm sure they're gonna wait till the last minute to say what's gonna happen with BlizzCon and stuff like that. Whether it be an in-person thing or whether it be an online thing or whether it be nothing at all. I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out for that one. Um, yeah, that's the only thing I'm waiting for to see what happens with that. Um, the way this year's went, it started out to be a good year. I was talking to my mom the other night, last week. It started out to be a good year where I was going to do a lot of good things. And, and then February happened. And in March, now, we're going into April. It basically just ruined my entire year. This is just the first quarter of the year. First quarter of this year is over today, but yeah, it's definitely going to be a weird year, I guess. Yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys next week. Guys want to talk to me, hit me up on Discord, hit me up on Twitter. I'll tell you how to do that here in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, other than that, you've been listening to episode 255 of the Shattered Soulstone, your Diablo community podcast. Missed an episode? You can find the show's blog, listen to the show archives at www.theshatteredsoulstone.com. With your support, you can help the show grow. Become a Patreon today, patreon.com/soulstone. Come join us in-game or in-game community and clan, both named the Shattered Soulstone. We're open to anyone who would like to join. You can also join us on Discord for the ultimate team and community-based experience. Find the Discord invitation link on our Twitter and Facebook page, as well as the Shattered Soulstone website. The show is powered by you, the listener. Send your contributions, thoughts, questions, and feedback to show@shatteredsoulstone.com. We love Twitter. Come join and tweet with us. You can find the show's Twitter @ShatteredStone. Dead Greed is at DeadGreed1812. You can find me at Shazam081. We would like to extend a huge thank you to Medros at Dawnforge Productions for hosting our Loot Deviant show. You can find more shows from the Dawnforge at www.thedawnforge.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, from all of us here at the Shattered Soulstone, over 254 episodes for your listening pleasure. Dawnforge!